Hi everyone, welcome back, and I'm so glad you're here hanging out and talking about neat interior design topics. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a room. So looking at it to see, what is it about it that's making it work and look and feel cohesive. And then also offering suggestions on how to make the room even better. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd love to have you join me. And thank you so much to everyone who is subscribing to my channel and liking my videos. It's really helping me grow my channel. So let's get started. So let's take a look at this beautiful room and talk about what it is that's making it look and feel cohesive, and then also, offer some suggestions on how to make it even better. So the first thing is, what is it about this room that's working, that, invites us in, that we want to go in that room and hang out there? Well, one thing that's I think is working really well is there is this cohesiveness, there is this connectedness with the color. Painting the wall color, this beautiful warmish blue color, really does tie everything together. And repeating that color in the room in different proportions, on the area rug or on a throw pillow. Anything that's kind of repeated, especially with color in a room, helps us feel comfortable, helps the room look and feel connected. And then the other thing that I think is really nice is that they've taken some time to make sure that there is plenty of room for the furniture. So there's space around the furniture so that people can get in and out of the furniture easily. And then also that there's room for a walkway. We can see that there's a doorway to get to another area of the home. And so they haven't blocked that. You know what I mean? Like, that gives us a sense of comfort that, we can go hang out in this room, but we can get in and out of the furniture easily, and that we can walk in and out of that room easily. And also there's a nice scale and size to the furniture that, the furniture for the most part fits the space. Like, the size works, that nothing is too big or too small, and they just work with the size of the room, so everything fills in proportion. The other thing that is working in this room, there is some nice variety going on. We always want a space to feel connected and look and feel, cohesive. And part of that, though, is making sure that our eye doesn't get bored, that not everything is the same. And so there are a couple things that are making this room have variety and have more interest. One of them, I think, works really well is that they decided to use this nice white, kind of cream white, for the trim around the windows and, around the doorways and even on the ceiling. There's a nice contrast, between the wall color and the trim color. There's a lighter color with a darker color, and that's just more interesting than if everything were the same lightness or darkness. The other thing that's adding variety to this room is the area rug. The area rug is beautiful because it has pattern in it. And it also is bringing other colors into the room. So whereas our room is primarily kind of blue toned, where, there's a blue on the wall and some blue in the area rug and also on some throw pillows, that area rug is also bringing in some other color tones. And they've actually, played with that by bringing in some accent colors into the throw pillows. And so that's, super interesting. And it's just, more interesting to our eye when we have some variety in there. And then I think also it's nice, their furniture, it's not all the same. There's some wood furniture and different finishes on the wood. The sofa and chaise is all upholstered, but their chair is a wood frame. And so, just having these differences in finishes makes a big difference as well, just to make the room more interesting. And then I think, one wonderful thing that's happening so that we can see everything and enjoy the room is how much natural lighting they have in the room. I love it that they just open up their draperies and they have all this natural light coming in so we can see everything, and it's super inviting to go in that room. So I think there's a lot of wonderful things happening in this room that invite us in, that we would like to hang out here. So what can we do to improve this room? Well, one thing that I would recommend doing is having more variety in the room. So I would do that through color and artwork and pattern. So one thing I would recommend doing is hanging some artwork on the wall, bringing in some beautiful artwork that this person really loves, so that there is this wonderful focal point of the room. And artwork is super important, and so having artwork on the walls draws us in and also helps us to connect everything with the room. The other thing I would think about doing is creating more contrast with the colors that they have. Looking to the wall color and the trim color, there's a nice contrast there. There's a light and a dark, contrast relationship going on there. Well, what about using deeper tones of throw pillows on the sofa or on the chair? So for instance, I love how they used like that very soft orange tone that they brought out from the carpet as a throw pillow. Well, what about using, a deeper tone of orange? That would be a wonderful accent color to blue. Because if you think about blue, and we look at color wheel, the color that's opposite of blue on the color wheel is orange. And what about having, a deeper tone of orange and maybe some patterns in the throw pillows, or even a throw blanket? I mean, how fun would that be? To have this deeper tone of orange and deeper tones of blues. So there's more contrast going on, especially on that sofa chaise. The other thing I would think about doing is, what about, reupholstering the chair into a deeper color, but what about a pattern? I feel like there needs to be more pattern in the room, more contrast with different things and bringing in different colors. Or even just bringing in, a different type of fabric. I'm not sure if these fabrics are the same. They may be different, but they look very similar and the tones are very similar. So what about, having that, switched out with something that's a little bit more vibrant and fun? And then, I think that their window wall is really wonderful during the day because it brings in all this sunlight. And I noticed they have draperies there. And if I'm seeing that correctly, it's hard to tell, but it looks pretty much white to me. So at night, if you're in there, what is that? Just like this big white wall. Well, what about, same thing, bringing in some deeper tones, bringing in some patterns into the drapery, so this room just becomes more interesting. And the other thing that's important is, talk about lighting at night. I know they have this cool lamp at the end, and actually there are these tiny little lamps that they have that at the shelf console table. There's a table, behind that chaise sofa, and they may have more lighting at the end where we can't see. But bringing in more lighting, maybe putting a floor lamp next to that chair, or putting another lamp on that console table behind the chaise sofa. They're going to need more lighting at night, especially. So we're on a cloudy day. So that would help to, highlight the wonderful features of this room even more. And the other thing that I took a look at to offer some suggestions for changing things is the furniture arrangement, how everything is arranged in that room, space planning, those types of things. And one thing that I would right away do is to change the position of the area rug. Right now, I can see that. It's under the sectional and the chair sits on it as well. So that's good because you always want your sofa and your furniture to try to sit on at least part of the area rug so it feels part of a room, an area. But the thing is I would totally center that rug in the middle of the room, horizontally and vertically. It's going to help that room feel a little bit more balanced. I did a floor plan view of the room, and I don't know the dimensions of all the furniture and of the room, but so I just kind of took some guesses at some typical sizes for things. And who knows, they may have had that sectional especially made to fit in that area. So but I'm just kind of taking some estimates, guesses about how large that room is and how everything kind of fits in there. So this is kind of what I came up with. And I think one thing that would help everything feel a little bit more connected and balanced is just to move that area rug into the center of the area so that everything feels a little bit more balanced. One thing that I feel, if you look at the bird's eye view, is that there may be just more weight, visual weight as well as physical weight in the corner where that sectional is compared to the corner where the chair is. And we don't know what's on the other side. There could be something over there behind the chair that kind of helps everything feel a little bit more balanced. But we're going to pretend that there's nothing over there. And, that we need to, it's always nice to have, a feeling of balance in a room where there's close to an equal amount of weight on all areas of the room so that it just feels balanced and looks balanced. And so right now, that corner where the sectional is very heavy. It's, there's a lot going on over there. And then the chair is kind of by itself with the little side table, and that's kind of about it. So what I would recommend doing just to help have it feel a little bit more balanced is, what about putting a shelf on that one wall behind the chair? And maybe that shelf goes is a higher shelf. So, it takes up some vertical space. And that may mean, moving that chair a little bit more onto the area rug, which is good because then it'll feel even more connected to the whole seating area. And then the other thing I thought about is, what about putting like a bench, like a low bench in front of the window, and it could be not exactly centered, but maybe more to the left a little bit. I don't know. I just kind of thought about that. I love those windows and looking outside, and that bench could be used for another seating area when they're entertaining, or an area, for books and things like that. But just to kind of add a little bit more weight to that side of the room. So it was just an idea, but I think at least adding a shelf to that one end, it just adds more weight. The room just kind of becomes a little bit more balanced. So just kind of keep that in mind. And so those are just some ideas of what we could do to kind of improve this space. And the other thing I was kind of curious about was, what happens if we put that sectional in the center of the room against the windows? Would that work? Well, I mean, yeah, you could put it in there and it would kind of like be this little island there in the center of the room. But then look at all this other space on either side of that sectional. There's no space for that chair. And, you could fill up the space, maybe some nice plants and, we could put more shelving in there. But because that sofa is has a chaise area, it takes up space, and there just wouldn't be room for another chair. And yes, you could make it work and you could fill up the space with things, but I think it works just fine how they have it. And if we just make a couple adjustments to make it feel more balanced and more centered, then, that room will work even better. So now it's your turn. What are your insights and ideas on, what's making this room work really well? And then also, what are your suggestions and ideas of how to make it look even better? Please share those ideas and your thoughts in the comments. And, what are some takeaways from this that we can, use in our own homes and our own places? So one of them is, to help create a cohesive look to a room, we can use color to do that. So, using one color or more than one color, but, repeating that throughout the space, maybe on the walls or in pillows or fabrics, draperies, even an area rug. Helping, to see the color in different areas of the room helps tie everything together. And then also, it's important to remember about variety and making sure our room isn't just one tone or one, light color or dark color. We want to add variety, and you can do that by adding contrast with colors. So, using lighter and darker colors together, and then also pattern. And so using pattern in fabrics is one way to add variety to a room. And then, the importance of size and scale. This room is a good example of the furniture makes sense with the size and scale of that room. And then also, double checking, your furniture arrangement, making sure that things feel balanced and make sense in the room, and that there's plenty of room for walkways and, movement to get in and out of furniture. So what are the other ideas and takeaways that you can think of? Put those in the comments, because I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas on this as well. So I hope you're doing well, and take care, and see you next time.